Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another live stream. I've been having some audio problems, so hopefully, I think I've sorted it out. Sorry, that's for the late start. I was having issues with the microphone for some reason, but I think I've sorted it out, reset everything. Seems to be working now. So if you can't hear me, let me know. Fingers crossed, everything is good. As I said, sorry for the late start. I tried to be on time. I like to be on time. So yeah, as usual, we're gonna say the good evenings to everyone. Um, as you guys are popping in. Let us know where you are coming from as well. Shout out your areas where you are, all over the UK. And also if you're outside of the UK as well, let us know where you are from. I am in South London, just to let you guys know if anyone wants to know. I am in South London. Just let me know where you guys are. I'm seeing Southend already. I was down in Brighton the weekend. I spent the weekend in Brighton. It was our anniversary, so we took a little trip, little break, just a little breather. So yeah, popped down to Brighton for the weekend. It's not that far to be honest, which was really nice. So yeah, let's see the hellos. We got Doug. Hi Doug. Welcome. Hi Darren, love your channel. Been binge watching your videos. Thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate that. Glad you're enjoying them. We've got like I just realized the other day because I get these sort of updates, statistical data sort of things. Sort of congratulations, you've done this, you've done that. And I just realized we've got like 700 videos. Like I was like, whoa, I didn't realize I had that many videos. But I guess we're vlogging almost every day. So it does add up. So yeah, I think we're about 700 videos now. Um, yeah, so a lot of footage to catch up on if you're new to the channel. So make sure you guys check out some of our previous projects as well as the ongoing projects now. Hi, Matt. Good evening. Welcome, Matt. Dave Richardson, evening to you as well. Glenn, welcome to you as well. Hi, Darren. I hope you're okay. Have to build a wall, a stud wall for an ensuite. Okay, so we've got questions already from Glenn. I'm going to come to your question in a second, Glenn. Just going to say the good evenings, and then we'll jump onto that. So Glenn is also from Southend as well. We've got Matt from Wirral, I think, if I'm correct. That's how you say it. Um, and we've also got Amit as well. Amit from Birmingham. Shout out to Amit up there in Birmingham. We got Dave from Barnsley, South Yorkshire as well. So we're all over the country. Let's see. Anybody else from London? Um, so we got Birmingham, we got South Yorkshire, Wirral, Southend. Um, sorry, let me see if I can catch up here. And we've got Poppy as well. Hi Poppy, you got a question as well, so I'm going to come to that in a bit as well. You guys are welcome to put your comments and your questions in, and once we get through all the good evenings, then I will jump onto the questions. We've got Belay Visual says, hey, welcome. Hi Martin as well from East London. Yeah, so we've got a Londoner here. We got Poppy here as well. Poppy from Kent. Welcome, Poppy. And Belay Visual is Northwest London as well. That's where I'm originally from. Northwest London, Kilburn to be exact. Um, yeah, I grew up there when I was a kid. And we have where is it? Uh, oh, I might get this one wrong. Apologies already. Let me see if I can get this right. Grizigorsk. Hopefully I got that right, or I didn't butcher your name. Newcastle. Welcome to Newcastle from Newcastle. And Belay Visuals Kensal Rise. Yeah, I know Kensal Rise very well. Got quite a few family in Kensal Rise. There's a lot of Dominicans live in Kensal Rise for some reason. So yeah, Kensal Rise, I know it well. Twisted Soul, hey, based in Northwest London as well. Amazing. Welcome. Just starting work, so can't watch the whole stream. How do we get in touch for a quote? Okay. Well, that question I can answer real quick, especially if you're going. If you look on the screen, if I've got it right, you should see my email address at the bottom of the screen. That is the best way to get hold of me, via my email there. So you can see at the bottom of the screen there, pbuilders@hotmail.com. Try that. And I should try my best to get back to you. I'm always backlogged with emails. I'm just going to say that now. And I've got a few to get back to. So sometimes I take a little bit of time to get back, but I do try my best to get back to all the emails that people send me. Um, let's see, where are we now? We've got John Wilkins from Thailand, watching from Thailand. Whoa, that's the furthest so far. Welcome, John. Enjoy your vids, except the something. All right, you let me know what it is. We've got Luckman as well from Forest Gate, East London. Yeah, East London as well. Ex so looking from Thailand. Oh, that's John from Thailand. Um, nice one. Cool. All right. So as you come in, just say hello, say good evening, and also let me know what questions you guys have as well. So today's video, actually, almost forgot. Today's video is actually uploading now, so it will be available right after the stream. It'll be on, so that will be at 9 o'clock. Today's video will be online. So today we were actually at the garden house. Well, the Cowboy Builder Job Stroke Garden House, and we were working on the digger today. I'm sure most of you have probably seen the uh the the uh the getting the digger in to the house. That was fun. That was interesting. Very relieved that we managed to get that digger in, because the amount of work I've done with that digger, I've only used it for 2 days now. Um, um, it was just going to be too much work for us to do, I would have had to have so many guys in to actually make it sort of feasible. um I think it's hard to explain how much stuff was in the garden, how much stuff was buried in the garden. Even today, we were digging today, and I dug out a kitchen sink, well, not a kitchen sink, a ceramic sink. um, these guys literally just every single thing that came out that house went in the back garden. Foundations went in the garden. The brick walls they knocked down went in the garden. Everything went in there. So I think at the back of the garden, it was almost a meter deep of rubbish. That's how much stuff was there. And today we're taking stuff out today as well. So I mean, but you guys will see that in the video. I won't tell you too much. Right. So we've got Reggie as well from Cardiff, but in Scotland at the moment. Shout out to Reggie. Um, let's see. Darren Kingsbury, evening. Oh, that's interesting. Darren Kingsbury, and I'm Darren, and I used to live in Kingsbury once as well. So that's interesting. Um, right. So, Jonah as well. Hi, Jonah. Robin Hampshire. Thank you for watching. Glad you enjoyed the videos. Right, let's see if we can get some questions. And I'm going to try my best, guys, to answer the questions. I'm not going to be able to answer every question. I can't always answer every question. I don't know everything. But also, those of you who are uh, clued up on any of the questions as well, please feel free to chip in the comments and help someone out. That's what we're here for, is to help one another out, share knowledge, and try to help people with their projects. So let's see what we've got here. Glenn. So first question from Glenn. It says, hi Darren, hope you're okay. Have to build a stud wall for an ensuite. Do you just screw into the plasterboard the top plate of the stud wall, as the trusses are not above the top plate but off to the side, or do you have to get a better fixing? Okay, so what I'm assuming, I mean, there should be, well, I'm not sure where it is, the ensuite. Can you get access to the top of the ceiling? Is it upstairs? Can you get in the loft? If you can get in the loft, if your stud wall is sort of like parallel to the joists, If it's perpendicular to the joist, obviously you got to try and find the joist and see if you can get some fixings through the plasterboard into the joist. If it's perpendicular to the joist and you can get access in the loft, what I would do is I would put some sort of like noggins across uh, two of the joists, and then that will give you something to fix into. So hopefully you can do that. If Well, you let me know if you can. If you can't, if it's say like on a ground floor and you maybe can't get under the floor above, um, there are fixings. There are some really good plasterboard fixings, so you can fix into it. But if you are gonna fix into the plasterboard, I would definitely use an adhesive as well, which will stop the movement. It's the movement that will sort of um, affect sort of whatever fixings you've put in. So if you can put some adhesive up there first and bond the frame or the header to the ceiling, put some good plasterboard fixings. There are some good ones that out there. There's you use typically they will be called heavy duty plasterboard fixings. So you can use that if you've got no other option. Um, I hope that helps. I hope you understand um, my answer. Okay. All right. So let's keep it moving. Let's see what we got here. Poppy. Poppy says, "Hi Darren, love your videos. It's nice to see you doing well. Just wanted to know if I already have a rear extension, am I able to have a conservatory added onto this, like a lean?" It is possible. There's a couple of things. It does depend on a lot of things. It depends on where you are, your local council. It depends on the size of your existing extension. Um, there's a couple of main sort of factors when it comes to extension, as far as how big you can go. It's funny, they sort of treat everything as an extension, to be honest. Even outhouses, even though they're not physically attached, they sort of um classed as an extended part of the home. So um in most cases, you're allowed a maximum addition or extension to your existing house. Typically, it's sort of up to 50% of the size of your garden. So let's say you had a garden that was 10 meters out, for instance. The most typically you'd be able to go out is sort of like 5 meters. So if you had like a 3 meter extension, you often can apply and extend that to a bit further, or you could maybe add a lean-to to that. So the rules are not always the same everywhere, but typically speaking, if you've sort of got more than 50% of your garden left, is what I want to say, then in most cases you probably will be able to add a lean-to onto an existing extension. But it's sort of like a case by case basis. But in most cases, I think you should be able to do that. So I hope that helps in some way. Um, So, okay, I've answered that one already. Our email details are there. Um, so we got, let's see. Amit. Hi, Amit. Can I ask how you price a job like a nightmare house? You don't price it. That's the basic, the best answer. Um, it's funny. It's a funny one. I was saying, speaking to my friend the other day, and I was actually saying that now because I do the YouTube and it's quite a big part of what I do and I really enjoy it. My jobs nowadays, I don't really, obviously, I'm blessed in the sense that I do have quite a pick and choose of jobs that I take, but I actually now center a lot of the projects that I take around what's interesting to do for people to view. So, like a job like this, in most cases, I would have turned away from it, and most builders probably would do. Probably 90% of builders would probably turn away from a job like that because it is very risky. Because there's so much wrong with it, and there's so much that you don't that you're gonna find along the way. I mean, the garden has been a lot more than we expected because once you start digging, you realize how much stuff is there. You realize how high up you are from the original ground. Even when we've been in the house, I found stuff that I didn't see on my first two visits. For instance, I never noticed that there was a chimney that had been removed, and I could see all the way up through the chimney, and it's not supported. There's just things you're going to come up with. So for that reason, it's very difficult to price it. Um, there's ways maybe you can price work on a day rate, as some people suggested that I did. I do stay away from day rates, and for previous experiences I've had that I've done day rates, why I don't do it. Anybody that knows us and knows my team knows that we give 100% and we work hard. But sometimes, and I've had it before, where you work on day rate, and I think it's maybe a psychological thing. Maybe if when someone's working on a day rate or an hourly rate, people tend to sort of watch the clock on you a bit more. Do you know what I'm saying? And it can be sort of problematic because we're people who, and even my guys, even though my guys work 9 to 5, sometimes they work till 6 o'clock. Some days we finished at 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock. So I'm very balanced in that way. But some people, you maybe work on a day rate, and they're sort of like, oh, um, I think we had a job once where, in the customer's opinion, they didn't feel we had done enough work for a day. And I was like, I literally, that was the end of it. As soon as I heard that, I was like, we're out of here. And it wasn't even to me, it was to one of my guys, and I was offended for him. So I was just like, no, we don't do day rates. So I think as well, also, I think it's better to do price on jobs because we know exactly what we're expecting. The customer knows exactly what they're going to spend. And to this date, in all my years of working, I have never revised the price on a customer. Even when we've gone over, some of our jobs have gone over and it started to cost us money or cost me money, I've never gone back and said, oh, it's going to cost you more, sort of thing. So I kind of pride myself on that. So day rate is an option if someone wants to do it. My advice is stay away from it totally unless you really know what you're doing and you really know what you're putting yourself into. Um, yeah, and just have everything really written out very well so they know exactly what you're getting and you know exactly what they're getting. So that's probably the way I would answer that question. But it's not, the job that we're doing is not for everybody. It really isn't for everybody. It's not for the faint-hearted. One thing that's been a bit of a one of the reasons I could do it is that it's a full sort of knockdown. Like, we just agreed that we're just taking everything down. So that makes it a little bit easier because we're essentially going to start from scratch. So we've just allowed to take the whole thing down, I think, which was the most sensible thing to do. So we will be back on that soon. We're waiting for some formalities. Um, uh, some sort of formalities with the council. We had a bit of an issue, not particularly an issue, but just accessing some of the information from the previous builder, because the way the builder did the application, he sort of tied it to himself. Data protection and all that stuff. So we've had to sort of go through this other application to get this information and stuff. So it's just drawn it out a little bit, really. Um, so yeah, that's basically that. All right, let's see if I can find some more questions. Let's see. Hi, Reggie. Reggie says, will you ever be able to tell the full Cowboy Builder house tale? Interesting. Probably could. I mean, I only know what the customers told me, which is always, part of a story. So I just know what I've been told and I know what I've physically seen. I know for the shadow of a doubt that the person that was doing that job did not know what they was doing. So I know that at least because I've seen with my own eyes the workmanship. I did mention last week that there's a pending case which I think is actually starting in July or something like that. Supposed to have been happening a long time ago, but the COVID sort of kept on pushing it back. So maybe once that's out of the way, then I may be able to say some more. I can ask and maybe I can share with you guys. But I don't think I can say too much with sort of a case sort of pending sort of thing. But who knows? If I can in the future, then I'll definitely let you guys know a bit more about how it all happened, basically. Yeah. All right. So let's see. Next question. If you got original Brown Boy Gamer, big up, man. Love the work you guys do. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Um, Jonah says, when you price for materials and then you have to get more, do you run it past the client first and then charge? So as I said before, if I price for materials, I work on set prices. So if I do my measurements or my calculations and I say, I don't know, it's gonna, let's say for instance, I don't know, something's gonna be 2,000 bricks. If I made a mistake and it is actually 3,000 bricks, then the customer not gonna hear about it. I just get on with it. It's my fault, and that's how I work. If the customer changes something, makes it bigger, then obviously, yeah, we got to change the price. But um, I yeah, that's basically how we work. Darren says, for a garden house roof, what is best, a rubber roof or fiberglass roof? Looking for what would last the longest. A lot of people have asked this. The answer is I don't know which will last the longest because I have because we haven't seen the longevity enough. It's like a lot of things where they say something's going to last such and such amount of time. And then 20 years time, we sort of find out whether it's going to last 20 years or not. Um, I mean, I've not had enough time to review these things. I've also only done maybe two rubber roofs, so I've not done many. I've done quite a few fiberglass roofs. Um, I would in my opinion, I would probably go for fiberglass. But the only thing in the fiberglass is that there's more that can go wrong. I think you have to do it right. You know, if you do it wrong, it's gonna fail. So it's less unforgiving in that sense. If you've got no sort of no bay wind, sort of no skylights, and it's just sort of mm, just a square roof, and you're DIYer, maybe a rubber roof would be a better idea. You can get usually in most sizes an entire sheet that will cover an entire roof. So maybe that is a better idea. Don't scrimp on the thicknesses. There's different thicknesses. Typically, there's two thicknesses. I can't tell you off my head what they are. But definitely go for don't scrimp and go on the cheaper, thinner rubber. Go for the thicker one, I would say. But yeah, for if you're not experienced on fiberglass, then I would probably say go for a rubber roof because there's less that can go wrong, is what I think. Okay. So we got Jas as well. Hi, Jas. Jas says, "Hi, Darren. Love your videos. Where do you buy your fiberglass roof kits from?" Um, um, Selco is where I buy them from typically. I use the Curate brand. I've used another one before, but it was only because it was provided to us. So it was pretty much the same. I just followed the instructions as far as the mix ratios and stuff, and it was pretty much the same. But I used the Curate because I've got all the Curate bits and the buckets and all that stuff. So I just stick with them. I find the resins are good, um, and I can get it off the shelf in pretty much every Selco, and there's loads of Selcos in London everywhere. So it's very easy to just pop in. You've run out, we need a bit more, you just go and get it. It's quite easy, so it's just convenient. But they do stock another brand now, but I've never tried the other brand, so I just keep to what I know and what I normally use. Um, who are we there? Next. Neil. Hi, Neil. Good evening, Darren. Good evening, Neil. Can the viewing audience please like the stream? Oh, yeah, amazing. Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, if you guys like the stream, thank you very much. If you're here watching, there's quite a few of you watching. Yeah, if you like the channel, you like the stream, give it a like. Also, I think if you like the stream, I think YouTube will share it to more of the other subscribers so that they'll be aware that I'm on live now as well. So yeah, just click the like. Doesn't cost anything. You can also support the channel as well. There's different ways you can do that on the screen there as well. Um, let's see. We got Jason. Jason Lockwood. Hi Darren. Do you know where I can find instructions on dormer loft extensions and putting in staircase to loft of bungalows? Instructions. I think they're not that straightforward, I don't think, to be honest. There's no sort of one size fits all for a dormer. There's so much variations. Your instructions are literally going to be your drawings. I mean, there one little say instructions. There's some things you can do to sort of get design ideas, especially layouts, internal layouts as well, is to have a look at previous people's dormers, or maybe let's say if there's a dormer on your street, similar, or on a street that you like, a lot of council websites you can actually view the planning applications online, and with that includes all the drawings for the build. Not all the structural. I have seen somewhere structural drawings. We were doing an extension, and next door or two doors down is exactly what they wanted. So we had a look at theirs to sort of get some ideas and see what it was, the layout was, and stuff like that. So that might give you some plans, maybe some elevations that you can get, and you can see what the drawings look like. As far as the instructions to build it, there's just no sort of straightforward thing like that. There's so many things to take in consideration: steels, um, beams, timber, it just there's so much. So I can't really say there's an instruction. You just basically will need to have something designed, at least structurally anyway, because it's a roof. And dormers are basically structural buildings. I mean, they support your roof. So um, yeah, you pretty much have to get someone to design it for you. Really. Okay, let's see. Glenn. Hi, Glenn. Glenn says, I can get some noggins in from above. Would I cut the plasterboard out for the top plate so it goes onto the noggins, or leave the plasterboard screw through the top plate? Just screw straight through. Don't need to cut the plasterboard out. It's not necessary. Yeah, just literally, if you can get the noggins, amazing. Put some noggins in and screw through your top plate, straight through the plasterboards, straight through the timber. Obviously, just make sure you got long enough screws. Um, and that's it. Just put in a couple of screws along that, and you'll be fine. Also put the glue in as well. Just it's a good idea to also put some glue in there as well. Let's see where we next. Connor, hi Connor. Connor says, "Hi Darren. Just on the cowboy build videos, and in light of most builders not wanting to rectify it, at what point should the homeowner just tear the house down and rebuild?" Um, I'm not sure if you're talking about the entire house or the extension. The entire house, it's not necessary, and you would have to self-fund that, and it would cost you a hell of a lot of money to rebuild that house. If it's the extension, at the point it is now, as bad as it is, it just needs to go down. Um, Mainly because I mean the project is bad down to the DPC. The DPC is wrong in the wrong place. So at minimum, we need to take all the block work out. Now, what we're trying to find out is about the foundation. We've done some test holes already to be inspected, but we are trying to find out if there was an original inspection on the foundations. I'm starting to think that there was. I'm starting to think that there was only one inspection on that job, and it was the foundations. And I'm hoping so, because if it is, it saves us having to remove all the old foundations, which I really don't want to have to do. So we're waiting. That's why we're delaying on that to find that out. Um, but everything else on that build, it needs to come down. I mean, the steels are the wrong sizes. Um, Everything is wrong. Even the roof joists were the wrong sizes, and they went the wrong direction. Well, they were the wrong size for the spans. If they had gone the other direction, they might have worked. But it's just, yeah, everything. So at that stage, it just makes sense to just knock it all down. Try and save as much materials as you can, and just have to accept the loss, unfortunately, on that one. Let's see. Original Brown Boy Gamer says, Darren, how do we get in touch with you? And do you work in the Uxbridge area? Yes, I do cover Uxbridge. Um, if you want to get me, I've got on the screen. It should be on the screen. My email address is the best way. You can DM me on Instagram. I check Instagram once a week maybe, so you might be better to email me. But you can use any of those to get hold of me. Seabooks, do you break down your costs in your quotes to customers? The reason I ask, I have a builder who's refusing to provide a breakdown of the costs. Within reason, if asked, I typically don't. Um, it depends on how much of a breakdown someone's asking for, and the main is not that I would try to hide anything. It's mainly because of the work involved. Um, quotes, some quotes, depending on the size of the job, can take a lot of time. Take a lot of time to do. I have a sort of developed my own sort of system where I have sort of spreadsheets, and I sort of have, I don't know, let's say it's going to be a 5x4 brick wall. I have my sort of costings of bricks, mortar, all that stuff. So it helps me to save a bit of time on trying to sit down and start from scratch every time. I can get sort of a ballpark figure within sort of like 2 hours or an hour and a half or something. But then if I have to now break it all down into parts and type it all out and all the thing, I'm more than likely not gonna do it. Mainly because um, it's just too much headache for me, and for me, I just wouldn't need to do it. So, but I understand when customers want to know what they're paying for. But I think that this is how I see it. If you get a price and you know exactly, and it's very clear what you're getting for what you're paying for, as long as you're happy with the price that you're paying, then it shouldn't necessarily matter. I think the main thing is that you are happy with the price that you're being charged for the work that is clearly defined. That's what's important. That exactly what it is that you want, or you know exactly what you're getting for that money. So if you feel like maybe it's too expensive, then I think it's better thing is to check, get another quote, get other quotes. You should do anyway. And then you can actually even assess yourself whether even you're realistic, because sometimes it's not just about trying to knock the builder down. Sometimes your price is sometimes some customers' budgets, well, a lot of customers don't know how much certain things cost, especially now as prices have gone up. So it might help if you get other quotes, and then you'll actually have a better idea. The other thing is, I know people get quotes where there's this is an unfortunate one. I mean, I have people come to me with quotes, and they're like, I got a quote for this extension for 50,000, and I got one for 120,000 for the same thing. Like, I mean, it's crazy. Like out there, it really is like that. So you just need to see what the sort of median is, 55, 60, for instance. And then obviously if there's one as 100,000, then you just know he's way off. If there's one at 25,000, then just forget about that. Do you know what I mean? So that's how I would sort of approach it. If they refuse to give a breakdown, then they're well within their rights. The builder, you just say, if you're not happy with that, then just say, I'm not going to use you, and then find someone maybe who will do the breakdown. I'm sure there are builders who do that. I personally don't break it down too much, because just because it's too much work to do, basically, I would say. Um, so we got SA says, what materials for a new build could potentially be brought, reclaimed, used to help lower costs? UPVC windows, flooring, etc. for a new build house, a new build. Um, Reclaimed. What can be reclaimed? Reclaim bricks are nice, but not always cheap. Sometimes they're actually more expensive. Um, Flooring, yeah. Especially, obviously hardwood floorings. You can reclaim. The only things you have to do work to put them nice. A lot of sanding and stuff like that, especially if they're not all straight. UPVC windows is a tricky one, because I would say no. Because a lot of UPVC windows that you probably would buy secondhand won't be up to modern regs. A lot of them don't have ventilation and stuff like that. So Probably wouldn't say UPVC windows. Um, yeah, I mean bricks if you can get the deals on it. Uh, even roofing slates as well, stuff like that. But there's not a lot really. I don't think these today. Today, I don't. I mean, I personally would just advise people to just go for new stuff, unless it's something that that needs to be reclaimed. Like if it's a certain type of brick, for instance, to match certain um like maybe the wooden floors or something like that, something that's very unique. There's not much you can save on now, I think, to be honest. And sometimes it's just not worth the trouble, the amount of work involved. Sometimes it just end up costing you more. You should have just bought it new. Um, and then a lot of builders don't like dealing with certain old things because it makes their lives a pain to fit it. Sometimes, like somebody comes to you with a kitchen and says, "Oh, I bought a second-hand kitchen." We're like, "No, thank you very much. I've been there, done that." And it takes you twice as long trying to make it fit. It really is a false economy sometimes. Um, let's see. Jim says, "Do you barter with suppliers?" No, I'm terrible at that. I'm really bad at bartering. I just go in and pay whatever they say. I mean, I have small discounts here and there with certain places like Selco, Wix and stuff, and I'm entitled to it, whatever. I do ask for my discounts. I actually did it once the other day. Actually, I went into one place that I've never been to, and I did ask, and I did get a small discount actually. And then they said, "Oh, do you want to open an account?" They all will open an account for you, so I just opened an account. They said I can get discounts when I open the account, so that was a one-off. But I usually don't. I usually just go in and pay whatever the price is. I should probably do better at that as well. Um, let's see. Father Steve, I think he's I'm not sure what he says. Rubber roof, Resi Tricks roofing. Stevie, let us know what that is in response to. Arthur says, Big Darren, how do I finish beveling tiles into a trim without noticing the difference in thickness? Not really sure exactly what you mean by that. Your trims should be correct thickness for the tile. So, for instance, most tiles, if it's say like a 10 mil tile or something, you should be able to get a trim that's the correct thickness. I don't know if the trims you have are not the right thickness. Not really sure if that's what you mean. Um, so I'd have to have a little bit more information. Sorry on that one. James says, "Love your work, lad. How long you doing this?" Thanks, James. I've been in the trade since 2008. So that's 15 years now. Coming up 15 years, I've been doing this now full time. Just Jay says, in your experience, what's the likelihood of getting a part width, second story, and ground floor extension approved, permitted, or full planning? Getting it. Second story. I think people think second store two-story extensions are not as hard as people think to get them, to be honest. I've done a two-story extension before. It was a ground. It was actually side return on the ground, and then on the back had another layer, another floor, not the entire back, but another floor to extend two of the back bedrooms to make them bigger because the bathroom went upstairs and stuff like that. So it is there. I mean, I see loads of two-story extensions around. So I don't think they're that difficult. But your architects, especially if you get an architect from your local area, they'll typically be able to know, how easy it is to get what you want. And look around your area. Just look around your local area and see if you see any sort of one similar to what you're looking for. And if you see them, then most than likely you'll get it. Um, you're probably going to need full planning for it. Um, I might be wrong, but I would imagine you need full planning for that. But I don't think it's that difficult, to be honest, to get it. So we got there. Gary Ross says, "Hi Darren, hi Gary. Thanks for tuning in." Reggie says, "With flat roofs, I always think the expansion and construction with the seasons is what does the damage. So I would guess it is what flexes the best." Okay, so I'm assuming maybe with the rubber. I'm assuming. Yeah, I mean, they say that. But from my understanding, the fiberglass, as I said, if it's done well, it doesn't have a problem with that. It really doesn't. But I definitely get what you mean. It would make sense for the sort of rubber because it's elastic, obviously. Um, so yeah, but I mean, either or are good, and felt roofs. I mean, you can't go wrong with a felt roof either, as long as again, it's somebody who knows how to install them. You guys saw on the cowboy build that we're doing. They just bonded one layer of felt to plywood, and that was the end of the roof. That was it, like one layer, and it was just hot bonded to it, and obviously it leaked everywhere. So it has to be someone who knows what they're doing. Okay. Let's see. Martin says, I'm looking to put an ensuite for into my bedroom. So toilet, sink, rectangular shower. What's the smallest size that I could get away with? Smallest ensuite, I'm assuming you're asking for. If you design your ensuite well, you can get away with quite a small one, and you can fit quite well. Funny enough, that same double story that we did, we ended up putting an ensuite in one of the bedrooms, and it was quite the space you'd never thought we would have fitted in there, and it works really, really well. If you look at some of the garden houses that we've done, particularly the one that we did with the metal, if you look through the videos, you'll see the one with the black metal cladding. Check out that video and you'll see a very small bathroom in there, which is enough size for a small ensuite. I think it is anyway. And literally the width of it is rectangular. The width of it is the width of the shower, which is 800 mil. So that's internally 800. And it's probably something like 2 meters 2 meters long, maybe something like that. The one that we're doing in the garden house that you guys, I just shared an image of the bifolds installed. That has a square ensuite, which is going to be like 1.6 by 1.6, something like that. And it's a good size. So it just depends. That's probably the smallest that you can get away with. I think maybe 1.6 by 1.6. Um, but it all depends on how you lay things out. You just got to play around with it. Let's see. Baseball 360. Hi Darren, is there a way of working out what it could cost to build a cistern in the Caribbean of 860 square foot, or is there too many factors involved? Um, I really wouldn't know. I need to find out myself. I have no idea, to be honest. It dep Yeah, it's, I mean, it's not masses of work to build one. It's a lot of digging. You're gonna have to do a lot of digging, depending on where it is, what access. I know it's the Caribbean, whether or not it'll be dug by hand or whether it'll be dug by a machine. So it's hard. It really is hard because I wouldn't have an idea of how much it costs, unfortunately. So sorry, I can't help you with that one. Glenn, thanks for your answer, Dan. So thank you. Keep up the good work. Amit, what's the largest garden house you have made before? The largest garden house we built was 9 by 4. I think it was 9 by 4. We did that about 2 years ago. There's a video for that on our feed. There's actually a full build video, something along the lines of build a garden house in 18 minutes or something like that. You'll see the full build for that. It had planning permission. It was pitch roof. Um, slate roof, bifold doors, roof like Veluxes and everything. Came out really, really nice. Check that one out. That was 9 by 4. I think that is the biggest that we've built so far. Let's see. Where we go now? Gary says, yeah, a bit strange. Was thinking the same. It's not the whole house what needs pulled down. Yeah, yeah, I can know what you mean. All right, Leo says, hi Darren, what's your projected time frame for the cowboy builder job? Yeah, so the cowboy builder job, it's a funny one because obviously we're doing it as a job, but obviously I've taken it on also to sort of help this family out, and they're still living in the house. I've explained before that we're going to be doing the entire house, so it's lots of phases. So we're doing the first, we're sorting out this drama first, as well as doing the garden house, because as you can see, we've got a lot of digging and stuff. So we're doing all of the ground stuff at the same time. We also have to do the first floor refurbishment, which is essentially separate flat almost, and the second floor is the same thing as well. We're also going to be doing the roof of the house. We're going to be external works of the building as well, tidying it up. So there's a lot going on. So we essentially have a projected time frame of just over a year. So it's sort of like it's going to take a year to do it because we can't commit to it all the time. So basically, it's going to be about a year. Um, at least a year, I would say. Well, maybe not at least a year, but it's going to be about a year to get it done. If we get it done quicker, then great. But it'll be up to a year, I think, to do it. Hi, Mike. Mike says, "Hi, Darren. Brilliant work on your videos. Thanks a lot, man." Uh, let's see. Let's see. Question, Mike. How about the video you did about the electric Velux window? Do they open sideways and not towards the back? Um, so the windows, not sure, open sideways and toward. I'm just trying to think which one you're talking about. I think the one. I'm not sure what video is. I know we put one in a garden house recently, which opens sideways, I think to the side, and the one also we're doing on the timber extension also opens sideways, if I'm correct. Yeah. So I'm not sure exactly which one you're talking about, but typically, they can pretty much open any way, to be honest. Um, but I'm not sure exactly which one you're talking about. Hi, Edith. Welcome. Sorry, late. Welcome, welcome. Back from a haircut. I need a haircut as well. Seabook said, "What's the recommendation for payment to builders? Shall we look to pay in stages, i.e., foundation, walls, first floor, etc.?" Um, so this is what I would suggest, that you have a staged payment plan with a builder. Typically, that will include a deposit in most cases. This is how we work. We take a deposit, very small deposit to secure a customer, 2%, and that basically sort of makes sure that people don't say, "Oh, you want to book you," and then a week before the job starts, then they're like, "Oh, sorry, I've got someone else," or "I'm sorry, I've changed my mind." So that sort of cuts out the time wasters. Um, Obviously, that deposit is part payment of the job, um, and then we take the payments based on different stages. So typically, there's sort of like up to DPC, and there's up to wall plate, then there's roof on, then there's first fix electrics, then there's so on so on. So that's what I would suggest. You can have a retainer as well, which you can agree with the builder. Typically, maybe a 5% retainer, so it's held for a period of time after the build, just if any issues or snags or whatever. It just encourages them to come back and sort it out. And then once you sort of everything's happy with everything, then you'll pay that last payment. So that's sort of a generic idea. You can tailor that to the specifics, but something like that. So we got our Belay visual as super thanks, super chatted. Thank you very much, Belay. Really appreciate the support here. You've got a question as well. Let's see. It says, "I'm looking to build a garden bed wall, roughly 500 mm high, with concrete blocks on its side with render finish. Will that be strong enough? I've seen a few videos which you did." 500 mil, I would say so. Yeah, concrete blocks on its side should be fine. Yeah, just make sure you've got, sort of decent foundation. If it's a 500 mil wall, if you've got the right soil, I would say maybe three, 3 to 40, 3 to 400, sorry, 300 to 400 mil. I would dig for the foundation for it, something like that. It's hard to say without seeing exactly what is holding back, but yeah, if you just a small garden bed, that should be more than enough for that. So I hope that helps you, and thank you for the super chats. Right, let's see a next one here. Jimbo says, what size gap do you leave on internal doors? Size gap. You mean around the door? I'm assuming this is where we need the carpenters. What size gap do I leave? Um, well, probably about so maybe 2 to 3 mil or something like that. 2 to 3 mil. I don't have a figure in my head. I just know if I'm putting it in something like that. I'm sure there must be some carpenters on here that's gonna crucify me and tell me the right amount. That is 2.75 millimeters or something like that. But something like that. You don't want it to be too big. And obviously, yeah, I mean, you just want it so that when you're closing the door, you need space for expansion. So there maybe is an actual figure, but pretty much, I would say just off my head, it's probably about 3 mil around or something like that. I think should be good. Let's see. Next question. Twisted Soul says, don't know if you've covered this already, but how can we avoid getting conned by cowboys? What are the signs to look out for? Finding a good, reliable builder is almost like a secret society. Yeah. I've asked this so many times that I did a series of videos. So there's a couple of videos I did, I think last month or the month before. Um, just sort of like case studies of things that had gone wrong, and I tried to explain what to look out for. So you might have to look, maybe I should make a playlist for those videos so they're easier to find. People are asking, I can just direct you to the playlist. um but there are a couple of videos that I've done. What's the signs to do? Someone asked this the last week as well. Pressure selling is one of them. Any decent builder or good builder that is, yeah, basically, as you said, good builders are so hard to find that good builders tend to be very busy, or good tradesmen in general. If you're a good carpenter, you're a good electrician, if you're a good car mechanic, if you're any sort of tradesperson that's good at your job, you tend to be busy because you'll get repeat customers, you'll get recommendations. So these people tend to be very busy. Um, and if they're not busy and they're just ready to go, I can do it tomorrow, sort of thing, then stay away from that person. That's the first thing I would say. Is a big risk there. Um, See if you can see their work as well, not just photographs on their phone or on their website. Because if you guys saw my scamming video that about the contractor that I worked for, all their website, glossy website pictures and everything were all fake. So you need to actually see it, or at least know somebody that they've worked for, or even better, they may be on YouTube. There's quite a few builders now on YouTube. It's becoming more and more common. Different tradesmen on YouTube, so you get to see their work. And I think that anyone who puts themselves out there already, in my books, is already a good sign that they are willing to put their sort of neck on the line. So that's a couple of the things I would say to look out for. Wow, that the time already. It is 8:58. Oh my gosh, and I've got a load more. Okay, I'm gonna be going real quick now. Let's see. Rigo says, I'm in the process of constructing a new build and can't decide on what type of roof to have for our flat roof. GRP can crack on new builds. What is your recommendation? Um, Again, someone asked this earlier. My preference is GRP. Maybe the one you don't like, but GRP cracks if it's not done right. And most of the time it cracks when it's applied too thick. That's from my experience of what I've come across. Come across so many that I've gone in and had to redo. And one of the main reasons why the resin cracks is when it's been applied too thick. People might think, oh, put loads of it and it be better. No, if you put too much, it's like this big thick layer of resin and it just cracks. It's if it's too thin, you get pinholes. So you have to know get the right amount of it, and it needs to be consolidated properly with the paddle roller. So as long as it's done well, you shouldn't have any issues of cracking. Um, but again, I can only speak about the one that I know the most, the one I do most. So I would probably recommend GRP. There are obviously other alternatives like sort of rubber ones, and or you can just go for your traditional felt roofs. So if you can find a company that does felt roofing, a lot of the time felt roofers tend to be companies who do mostly felt roof, and they tend to be good at it. So that's another option as well, a felt roof. So that's what I could recommend. um let's see. Mike says, question, do you prefer Karen or sand and cement? um I prefer the Karen one reason with the Karen is it's lighter, so it's sort of less it's more forgiving on you, when you're applying it, like your wrists and stuff like that. So it's better for that in that respect. Also, the one thing I like about K-Rend is once you've done the K-Rend, you can walk away and you're done. You've not got to come back in such and such time, and you've got to undercoat, and you've got to paint all these coats of paint. Um, so that's the good thing about it. It's like it's done, the color's done, everything is done at one time. So that's two of the benefits of the K-Ren. Sand and cement is definitely more forgiving in the sense of getting it, right and stuff like that, because it's not a final product. And it's a lot cheaper to use. Sand and cement is a lot cheaper than K-Ren is. But I would, I lean towards K-Ren. I think it's a better idea, and I think it's moving on from sand and cement, but that's just my personal view. Rigo says, "Is your books fully booked for the next month?" Yeah, fully booked for the next year. I mean, we are taking the stuff all the time. If you guys see, we do more than one job at a time. When we sort of close off maybe two, we're coming to the end. One of the garden houses, the one that we just painted and put the flooring in, the 7x4, that's just needs K-Ren in. That's coming to its end now. And also the other one now, we're going to be plastering that later this week. So we're coming to an end of that. So we'll probably be taking on another job soon. But we actually have stuff in the pipeline. So, um, but we're always, taking stuff in. So I would probably say sort of like a 3 to 4 months is a sort of earliest time that we can sort of take on any work. But it depends on the job, the size of the job. If it's too big, or if it might not be able to fit it in at the time. Let's see. So best thing to do is email me if you have any questions. Let's see. Shay says, "Hi Darren, any chance you can do a total cost video when a project finishes with costs broken down? I'm sure it would make for great content." Yeah, I'm meaning to do one actually. I'll maybe try. I can probably do one on one of the jobs that's finishing soon. I have done one, maybe you might not have seen that. I've done one on I did a cost breakdown for a garden house. I did materials only. I didn't do labor. I have to think about doing the labor and how I'm going to do it, because obviously, you have people working for you and stuff, and I can't be saying what people's earnings are and stuff like that. So I've got to think of a way to sort of say, maybe I'll just stick a whole lump sum price at the end and say this is how much all the labor has cost me, and wages and stuff like that. Um, but I did do a breakdown, a very quite detailed breakdown of the materials. And the main reason why I did it was sort of for self builders, who people wanted to build their own garden house. At least they would have an idea of, okay, this is how much it roughly is going to cost me on concrete, this is how much it's going to cost me on plasterboard to build something like what we built. So I will definitely, when it took me a long time to do that video. So it's just having the time to do a video like that. Because I've got to do a lot of cut, get all the figures, receipts, everything, and then I've got to make the video. So I will definitely do one. I'm just not sure exactly when I can do it. But thanks for reminding me for that. Let's see. Darren says, "Are you still training to install electrics? And if so, how's it going?" Yeah, so I start. Well, what's today now? So I literally start in 2 weeks' time. I start in the first week of June officially. I've been doing all the watching the videos that they've been sending me and stuff. But my course actually starts first week of June. So yeah, although I enrolled like 2 months ago and I've been paying for it every month, I haven't actually started any lessons yet. So I'll let you guys, know how it's going once I start it. But it should be starting in 2 weeks' time. Let's see. Let's see. Next one. Have material costs come down at all in the last year? Not really. Maybe there's a few bits here and there, maybe slightly, but very slightly. There's still some things that's going up. We go in the shop and then just like this never used to be that price. Like it's just yeah, some of the stuff has been crazy. Like, just even small things. You buy something like some tube of adhesive that used to be 4.99. You go to the till and it's 7.99. And it's like, no, I know I was paying 4.99 for that like a couple months ago. And it's gone up by like over 50%. So um I don't think things have gone down. They slowed down. They just slowed down, but I don't think they're going down yet. Not from what I've seen. Let's see where we there. Graham says, Darren, you're the best. God bless you. Thank you, Graham. Reggie says, door gap is a 2p coin, I was told. And that sounds about right. That's a good idea. See, you learn something every day. Maybe I'll use that technique. A 2p coin, and that's to me sounds like about 3 mil. So yeah, 2p coin visually in my head looks like about the right gap. Let's see. Carlos says, "Hi, mate. I rate you a lot. I've done 27 love conversions. Wow, amazing. Yourself?" I have done two. I'm not really into lofts like that. I've done two. Um, someone asked me that last week. Oh, you guys, do you guys do much lofts? It's like, I don't know. People don't really ask us for lofts. I guess it's not what we're known for. So, but we're doing this timber frame extension, which is very similar to a loft, but it's just on the ground. But we can do them. We just don't do them that much. Let's see. Jim says, Darren, your top blog. Thanks for answering my questions. You're welcome, man. Zulu Delta. Evening, Darren. Tuning in from Nairobi. Oh, amazing. We got someone from all the way from Nairobi. I've got a good friend who's from Kenya. Awesome work. Always on the grind. Keep it up. Thank you, man. Let's see. Lee says, how long would you say garden sleepers last as a retaining wall? Oh, wow. I have no idea. I would say they last for quite a while. I mean, sleepers should last for. I can't even. I couldn't say, but it's supposed to last for a very long time. So, um, they are a good idea. I would say to use for retaining walls because I think they would last for a while, but I couldn't tell you exactly how long. Sorry. Right. So I'm going to get through the last three questions. Let's see. Frank says, Hi Darren, I'm about to renovate a Victorian house. What are the best ways to improve EPC and reduce dampness? Thanks, mate. The best way. Um, well, I would say in a Victorian house, probably what you want to do is insulate the floor. So get under the floorboards and insulate that with some rigid insulation. That's probably one of the first or one of the best things to do. You don't have much options on the walls, really, especially to reduce dampness. I think your best bet is the floor and the roof, installing insulation or upgrading the insulation if there's any at all in the roof space in the attic. And also windows as well. Better windows if you can upgrade those. That's I would say probably is the main thing. Reduce dampness. That was a hard one because that could mean anything really. Dampness could be coming from anywhere. It could be condensation. It could be anything. It could be penetrating from outside. So pointing, definitely, especially on all the Victorian houses, check the pointing. It's such a basic thing. A lot of people don't think. I've seen jobs where people have had, and I've straight away gone outside, and I'm like, this is where all the water's coming in. You can see it. All the point is needs doing. So definitely check for pointing. Insulate the floor. Take the floorboards up. Insulate under the floors. A lot of your heat is escaping down, and insulate the roof space as well. Stick loads of rock wool up there. I think that's the best thing to do to start with. Um, let's see. Right. Let's see. Next one. Chris, how can I contact you for a garden house project? Best way to contact is on my email, which is on the screen, bottom of the screen. It should be on the bottom right of the screen. My email address. Hit me up there with an email. Shez says, do you follow any electricians on YouTube? What would you advise someone to research and study before starting an electrician course? Thank you for all the great content. God bless you and the guys. Thanks, Shez. I follow I was literally just watching him now a minute ago. Uh oh, can't remember his name. Eastway Electrical. Follow him. There's another guy as well. I haven't seen his videos come up for ages, so I can't remember his name. I used to watch these videos, but I don't know. His video's not coming up for some reason, so I haven't seen his anyway. But Eastway Electrical, I follow on as far as YouTube. They're the only two I think electricians that I watch. So advice to research and study before. Just watch loads, follow guys like that. There's so much you can learn just on the day out. It's like being an apprentice with them, you know. Especially people like, you know, the guy on Eastway Electricals. He's showing you the issues he's coming across and how he's going to fix it and stuff. So you can learn so much just by watching a professional doing their work, you know. So that's what I would probably say. So Glenn is off. Night, Darren. Thanks for the Q&A. You're welcome, Glenn. Thanks for tuning in. The Vaping Builder. Hey, man. Evening, fella. Evening. You've come in late, though. We're just about to wrap up. You guys can watch this, obviously, after as well. I'll save it so you can watch it. Brighton Duda says, I was in Brighton this weekend. Love your work, Darren. Thank you very much, man. Let's see. Andrew says, will you ever consider doing a house tour? I'm not sure what house you're talking about. You're gonna have to let me know what house you want to see. Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, of your own house? Probably not. My wife is really, really private, so she would probably kill me if I went around the house with the camera. So I don't think I'll be doing I don't think I'll do a house. I mean, I don't own my own house, unfortunately. I hope to in the Caribbean, so you guys will get to see that. I rent a house, so you know you guys will see all of our house when we're building it and when we build it. So definitely you'll get to see that. Frank says, "Thank you, Darren, new legend. Love your content. Thanks, man." And we get to the end now. Martin says, "You're a great role model for the building industry. Bless. Thank you very much. Thank you." And also, do you know any good builders in Leicester? Unfortunately, sorry, I don't know anybody in Leicester. None at all. I don't think. Have I been to Leicester before? I feel like Leicester's one of the places I haven't been to. So unfortunately, sorry, no, I don't. I don't know anybody. And is Leicester come up again? Darren, I'm looking for a plaster in Leicester. Come down. Wow, maybe I gotta go to Leicester. Maybe this is a sign. I'm London based. Yes, I'm London. So all my work is in London. I don't travel at the moment anywhere out of London. And do I know any good builds in North London? No, to be honest, I don't really know any other builders. Really, to be honest, I don't know. I really don't know any other builders besides besides us. And we work in all areas of London, pretty much. We cover pretty much all of London. Okay, this is going to be the last one. Hey Darren, good to see you live. I often think you look very serious on the videos, apart from the odd bit when you're joking with the guys. Good to see you laughing. Yeah, I know. I know I'm like that, I think, on videos. There's just so much going through my brain. All the stress of the jobs and yeah, just trying to think of what we're doing. So I'm laughing inside. At work, we have a laugh. We really do have a laugh. We have a really good time at work. You guys don't see a lot of it sometimes. but you know, it's quite a relaxed working environment. And yeah, we do have a good time. Okay, so this is my last one. I'm moving to London for work, which is Stratford. What borough do you recommend to live in, which is close? Oh wow, close. Stratford. Which is Stratford? I don't really know. I mean, that's East London. I really don't know East London that well. Close to Stratford, you're looking for somewhere in East London. I couldn't tell you was a good place to live. I'm sure someone in here who, oh, here we go. Chris says Walthamstow. Walthamstow's quite literally down the road. So, but I don't know what Walthamstow's like to live in. I've been there before, but I don't know the area that well. But Walthamstow is definitely nearby, somewhere to check out. Um, yeah, but guys, I'm gonna have to end it now. I'm 14 minutes over. So we've been here for an hour and 14 minutes. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight. Hope I've helped somebody. I've helped some of you guys with some of your questions. Obviously my contact details on the screen for those of you who want to get hold of me. And I will be back next week, Tuesday. So every Tuesday, I'm giving you guys an hour from 8 till 9. I am all yours, or maybe an hour and 14 minutes. And you can ask me whatever questions you can. I'll try my best to help you guys. All right. So that's it from me, guys. I'm saying good night and I'll see you soon. Take care.